Blair here. Great to have you joining me this morning for 10 minutes of morning calm. And today what we're looking at is this idea of shadows and how the shadows work. And it's interesting, right? Like we are looking at this story, and this is so much the story of our life where we see things as kind of headed one direction, and we have positive days, good days, and we can become convinced that that's the way it's going to go from here on out. And the reality is with life is that it's a lot more difficult than that. It's life is always two steps forward, one step back. Progress, not perfection, as they say in the 12-step tradition. And we know life moves on, but we do have these shadow times, and they need to be acknowledged and maybe even talked about a little bit, which is what we're going to do today. So what we're looking at here is a line from Genesis, and this is our hero of the story at this point, Abram. And Abram starts to fall asleep, says a slumber fell on Abram. And then the Bible goes on to say, look, terror of immense shadows was falling on him. So that idea of these shadows, that these shadows kind of fall on us. And we're going to take a look at this from the book Secrets of Heaven, 1839. What it's talking about here is that with the church, and let's think of the church within ourselves, institutional churches, etc., that sometimes they hit, and think of the deepest cherished spiritual parts of us. They hit times where it feels like it's just totally covered in shadow. And it's interesting because this is a consistent Swedenborgian perspective that those shadows are not caused by an absence of truth nearly as much as they are caused by an absence of love. That love is primary, and as such, when churches lose track of that primary nature of love, when they lose track of other people, when they lose track of service, when they lose track of loving others and that being their primary message, that's where churches can really struggle. And that's where we can really start to struggle in our life as well. Just even this morning, it was a nice morning, great walk out, and just I found myself just trying to think through, oh yeah, just remember today's the day I get to serve in this way, this way, this way, this way. That's a much better frame of mind to go into the day with than, oh my goodness, here's the 5 problems. Now, again, out of 2 weeks, I maybe have one day where I remember to think about the opportunity to serve versus the number of problems. But let me tell you, that one makes a big difference. And I think that's what we're talking about here. Like, how do we know that there are shadows, and know that those shadows do come when love isn't first anymore, and that when those shadows sort of settle. And it's interesting, the word that gets used here is the word devastation. Feel totally devastating, especially when we see institutions that we love, that we feel have sort of lost the plot. That's a Rob Bell word phrase, which I really like. Churches can lose the plot, and we individuals can lose the plot. And because we as individuals can lose the plot, of course, the churches we may be cherishing, they can lose the plot as well. And that's where we constantly need to be coming back, that return to first that we're forever invited back into. It's interesting with shadows, right? Is shadows? We talk about shadows in the dark, like a shadow. I'm looking outside. It's a bright sunny day. Not that the shadows are not scary. Shadows are scary at night. They're scary at times where life feels deeply challenging. And we need to remember about a shadow, and it's the same thing as darkness. Darkness is simply the absence of light. That simple. Darkness is simply the absence of light. Any amount of light extinguishes darkness. No amount of darkness extinguishes light. That's just a really important, like, spiritual principle right there. And it's the same with shadows. The actual shadow itself, now it may have been cast by something real, but the actual shadow itself, which is what we tend to focus on, the actual shadow itself is nothing. It has no substance to it at all. And that's where we need to remember that that's evil. It can appear, they can appear very real. It can appear very to have an actual form, but it really doesn't. And that's where again, like, light is what will give us the light to move through those shadow times. So, friends, what I would say today, just be like where there's shadows, and just know again, like, how can I bring love to this? Because they actually are a thing. And the way to bring light to it, the way to kind of recast the shadow, so to speak, is from bringing a loving presence to the world. Like, who are you going to serve today? Is very spiritual way to go about that. So I hope that makes a lot of sense, dear friends. May you have a day without many shadows. May you have a day with a lot of sunshine in it. And when the shadows come, just, go back to that incredible power of love to get things right. So now we're going to shift gears. And when we shift gears to New Church Live, for those of you joining us the first time, what we do is we shift gears into a meditative part of the service. And we do a little meditation here, a little prayer, a little blessing. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So we're going to ring the prayer bell. I ask you just listen to it until it stops ringing. We'll take a little breath. And and then I do a little meditation. And it's just a real nice way to sort of get our mornings grounded and started, both grounded and started. So, friends, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little, Marcus is here texting me that the comments did not work today. All right, so we won't answer any comments because the comments are not working, but if you do get a chance to leave them, I will be responding later to them. And just God bless, folks. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.